Fannie Mae gave too many loans to black homeowners. I'm sorry, that's not what has caused the world economic system to come to the edge of collapse. No way. And so we find those kinds of attempts to find alternate explanations and blame the usual suspects who have taken the blame for our problems for these many, many years. And I'm afraid that the media has a big task ahead of them, which is to try to explain a new world that's unfamiliar to people, and they really have to sort of peel back the explanations and the justifications that we've gotten for so long and look at it in a different way, and it's hard. Given
that we have had more financial reporting, more ink spent on covering our markets for the last 8, 10, 20 years than we've had on probably any other single subject. Every news report on television with a market report at the end, as much coverage as the weather, probably more. Are we owed some kind of apology by some of the financial reporters? And maybe that's just a silly thing to ask for, Corey.
No,
I mean, how do they turn around and say, we got so much so wrong for so long?
I mean, some reporters come out of this looking great who've been, barking up this stuff for a while. But, I have to say a lot of the talking head advocates on TV, particularly on CNN, I find incredibly offensive. In the last couple of weeks, they were like adamantly pro-bailout. They were literally going on TV and trying to explain the financial situation as best they could in 20 seconds, which I can't do either. I couldn't do it in 2 hours, actually. And then like demanding that people support the bailout, which I thought was actually really shocking. I thought actually that was one of the times I saw people really go way past their roles as journalists. It was, I thought it was pretty outrageous.
Well, they've got their advertisers to worry about. Some of their I think
they were actually motivated by fear. They don't know what should be done. And they have been convinced by people who they think know better that this is the only way to prevent who knows what kind of catastrophe. And so there was kind of, I think, a natural impulse to sort of say, well, we all have to do this. It may or may not be true, but there's as much of that and very little time to say, oh, you know what, we got all this wrong, so maybe you shouldn't even be listening to us.